Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch and YouTube. Come hang out and join our live stream. Just search for @TomandDanLive. And if you're on social media, and most everybody is, search, like, subscribe @TomandDanLive.
We're doing a promotion this month and this month only that if you buy a pinball machine from thepinballdudes.com or .net,
yes,
we will come to your house and play the first game after Andrew comes in because the setup is all
we
free.
will. 100-mile radius.
No, 50 miles.
I'm doing 100-mile
That's
radius.
too far.
On his new scooter.
That's
No,
too
on
far.
my car, because it's like I won't even have to drive it.
Oh, touche. Okay,
Yeah, it's
fair
100
enough.
miles.
Yeah.
100 miles there, 100 miles back.
But it's the time it takes to drive 100 miles.
I told you could be 50-mile Tommy and I'm 100-mile Danny.
Anyway.
The difference in the dedication levels.
Thepinballdudes.net.
There you go.
So we have a guest today, and he is an entrepreneur. He is a social media influencer.
Yes, he is.
He is all-around business expert. Jesse Wolfe is here. How you doing, Jesse?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me back
see you.
again.
So we were joking around on Twitch before we started the actual show.
I was sitting on a Simeon,
that
and I couldn't make it 8 seconds.
I was going to guarantee that each time Jesse Wolfe is in here, that I guarantee we will come out of this brainstorm, because this is what I'm calling this.
Yeah.
This is like a collective brainstorm.
Tom and Dan brainstorm.
We just talk about some topics, some things going on in business or whatever, and then throughout
an idea hurricane.
the time we're talking, we will guarantee $1 million idea.
A product NATO coming at you.
That anybody listening
trademarking these?
to anyone listening to this can take that $1 million idea that we come up with and run with it and become a millionaire if they,
We don't
if they
need
choose.
it. We don't need it.
We're like reverse Shark Tank.
Yes.
We create the idea.
Yes, we're
The
like
guests
Shark
have to run
Tank, but we're back to front. And you're never supposed to go. We're back to front.
Yeah.
We're back to front, Shark Tank.
Back to front,
Never go back to front. That's how you get a yeast infection.
Yeah, or worse.
So,
Shark Tank.
And when we were talking about $1 million ideas, because I was saying they're a dime a dozen, it's the execution of that idea that's the hard part. Like, you can come up with $1 million idea all day long, and then just building that and figuring out how to actually make it work is another thing. But let's talk about $1 million. Like now, more than ever, $1 million isn't anything. Like $1 million.
Well, every second of the day becomes less important, right?
Yeah, I think what $1 million means now comparative to when we were kids in the 90s.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that was like you're a millionaire, 1 million. That's it. You
Yeah.
were good forever.
You were set for life, you know?
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason that now, and I think there's like 1,103 of them or some billionaires
Oh, yeah.
in
yeah,
North
yeah.
America. I
Yeah.
guess there's thousands of billionaires in North America.
Yeah.
And that is, as a 49-year-old man, it crushes my soul a little bit that our children are like, I want to be a billionaire, just like the song Bruno Mars or Travis. What was that? Jim Class Hero.
Yeah. One of those guys.
But my point is that that's not, like you don't want to be a millionaire anymore.
Well, I want to buy up all the things I never had.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Travis, someone.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Travis McCoy.
Can't buy a yacht dad with $1 million. I need $1 billion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's kind of sad that we're at the billion now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
$1 million boats. Go look at like brand new boats. It's not even can't even get you that much. You're gonna
No.
you get like a 40-foot center console with
at best, yeah.
I'll give you
250s.
a real one from last night's marijuana adventures. You ready?
Yeah.
I want to go. Every dad, you dream, right? When your eyes are about getting heavy. And I went to the Airstream website and I looked up I want the smallest Airstream, the littlest one they make.
49 grand.
I'm obsessed with. You're close. I'm obsessed with little things. You know I like little things. Little scooters, little dogs, I'm little. My daughter's little. We like little things. My wife likes little things. I was like, oh, a little Airstream. This would be amazing. I'll get a new one.
I wish you liked big things. That would be funnier. Anyway, sorry.
I like big women.
Okay, yeah.
I do like bigger women.
Okay, fair enough.
But I mean real big.
I like them real big, but I had to settle. At some point you can't find. I want them 6'5".
Yeah.
And at some point you can't find that's a premium. Also, like a Great Dane, they die early.
Yeah.
Okay, fair
you don't
enough.
want to get like a 6'8", 6'9". That'll be having for 8 years. Dead, and I'll be sad, and then I'll never want to get a new one. So for this, like where was I? I lost my train of thought. It's happening. Double dead.
Airstream,
Yes.
expensive.
Okay, you ready?
things.
Tiniest Airstream,
Yeah.
brand new, 2026 Airstream. It's named after like a bug. It's small.
Yeah,
What do you think?
yeah,
What do you think?
okay,
It's brand new, 2026.
You're paying a premium on the brand.
I think
first off.
it's 14 feet. It's small, tiny.
Airstream is the Gucci of travel trailers.
It's
That's
up there. Yeah.
Great comparison, yeah.
So thank you very much.
He's good at this. He's really good at
He's
this.
good at that.
No, but he's good at the numbers.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm guessing it.
I've been wanting to say Gucci of travel trailers for a long time. I wrote it down.
Itch scratched.
We are so trashy that he's had that name brand for how long have you owned the website Gucci of travel trailers?
Since March
You
23rd,
ready for the
2021.
number? $71,000.
Whoa!
Wow.
For it's like a 14-foot, the smallest one they make. It's the smallest.
But in comparison, if you went to like Jayco or Coleman, that's probably 18 grand.
Yeah.
So like
22 for brand new loaded.
Jesus, brother.
Loaded
Yeah,
though, with
that's
that,
cra-
like you
yeah.
could get the same size that's not an Airstream with like refrigerator, AC, TV, slidable, whatever you want inside of it, everything, and the pass-through storage. You need that because
You do.
it's small.
Yep.
And it'd be like 24,000.
Crazy money. But again, what does Airstream do so well that Gucci also does is it paints that lifestyle to the fullest. You know what I mean?
Beautiful. The silver exterior is
yeah.
so pretty.
They got the clubs and the groups, and you're part of the Airstream community, and I mean,
they are better made.
yeah.
A regular like RV travel trailer is made out of just composite wood garbage. It is 100% garbage.
Oh, yeah.
like it's all wood laminate. It's like, why would you
and
do
plastic
this?
on the exterior.
Yeah, it's just-
if
and
you're
you put
lucky,
your
it's
family in it,
plastic.
you're right out of store.
No, so fun fact, it's weird we got on RVs right now
I
because
love it. I'm obsessed with
Same.
it. And I'm back in it. And every year, and I think a lot of dads, I know Tom used to do this. You probably still do. Once a year, you go through a phase where it's almost like you get hot for it. You go to the website, you Google it real hard for a couple hours, then it flushes out of your body.
I'm on Facebook Marketplace once a year,
brother.
once a week.
Yeah, once a day
yeah,
for me
yeah.
at a minimum. That's that toilet time, the old marketplace shopping, you know what I mean? But my dad and my mom actually are restoring the front end of their camper.
right
I had
on.
a little water damage, so we spent a few months doing this. And like when we first pulled it apart, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be kind of nuts. I've never done this.
Was the roof leaking? That's weird. I've never heard that
Oh,
before.
yeah.
Of course I have. They're made like garbage. They're all garbage.
They're literally. I'm not even kidding
It's
you.
like paper.
Dude. It is like I think it's called like Frylon. It's the thinnest paper thin.
Frylon is not even nylon. It's Frylon.
It's Frylon because it's
What's synthetic
fiberglass.
nylon? Make it out of that.
It's fiberglass nylon, basically. It's the thinnest sheet of fiberglass. It's literally like balsa wood sheet, and then foam insert and metal frame.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, these are literally able to blow apart so easily.
Well, it has to be pullable by an old Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's got to be light.
Yeah.
Then when it starts leaking, you're like, wait a minute. And then you call a manufacturer where they're like, have you had it out in the sun more than 8 hours? And they're like, oh, yeah.
It's not made for that.
It's like 8 hours.
Yeah, sorry, it's not rated for sunlight.
It's not ready for rain, water, sun, wind, speed.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to buy an awning.
Yeah. Those. I mean, but it's because of the nature of campers. Like people have them for such short amount of times, and it's not like when's the last time you've met someone that had their camper for 20 years and then
No.
still uses it?
Dad always
It doesn't
traded his.
exist unless the Airstream or something.
Yeah, well, and that's why they're still around, right?
yeah.
And there's one Avion. That was another one. That's the white one. My dad was always obsessed with Airstream, and then I think the other one's called Avion.
Yeah.
Or an Avion was like the one that was more like white fiberglass.
Yeah, they were like
exterior.
shells, like
Yeah.
kind of connected together.
But
Whatever.
there's something I did know as a young boy in DeLand, Florida. My dad told me this. He's like, we're Dennis's. And Dennis's will never own Airstream.
Yeah.
Never. Not in a million. He wanted one, and we'd go to all the RV shows like Tom
yeah.
does, and we'd tour them, and we'd look at all of them. My mom and dad would sit, and they'd sit in the dinette and like kind of, I think they dream,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, well, no way in hell would we ever. Not a million years.
So you got to go to Copart, okay, to fill the dream and get you a nice hail damaged Airstream. It's discounted. She got some dings on
I
her.
don't care if it has dings.
I
It's going to
wouldn't care.
last forever. I think that makes it look cooler,
Yeah.
actually.
I mean, literally, go on Copart all day long. Airstream's on their hail damage half price.
Whoa.
Yeah. They're all, because, one small hailstorm and it smokes them. They're totaled.
But if Daniel has an Airstream and a bunch of dents, I'll be like, look at these dents.
It will drive me crazy. He knows the way to my heart.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'll be out there getting the what is it? The touchless dent man. He's like, I'm gonna be here all day.
You get a sponsor just for the show to pop out the dings on the Airstream,
I would take the money I saved on a half-price Airstream and use that money to get a touchless dent man to fix the Airstream. That's how stupid I am.
So then we're back to full price. But it's, but the point is we saved money somewhere in there. Yeah.
So back to the $1 million and it's not worth what it used to be. It's also, there's a misconception in small business, and I've seen this happen a lot, where someone was like, and talk about their business revenue, and when it's grossing over $1 million, people are like, oh, wow, they're going to look at this guy, Mark Cuban over here.
You're standing on the deck of the aircraft carrier, you're yelling mission accomplished. You barely did it.
And then you find out and like, oh, well, what do you make? You're like, oh, I'm not even making a paycheck yet.
You're right.
Or that you're making like 50 grand a year as the owner, and that's what you're paying yourself, and then your employees. So it's like you're generating millions in total revenue, but you yourself are making like a teacher's salary and barely able to pay your employees. And then it's like, so then this $1 million business that you have is generating such a small amount of take-home income that it's like not even that impressive at all.
And I think it really depends on the industry in which you go into, because obviously I'm in CPG, consumer packaged goods, so food and products and things like that. It is really easy, and I've seen it time and time and time again, that someone is making $1.5 million top line revenue, but losing $1.8 million. So they actually lost $300,000.
That's us, yeah.
Yeah.
We call ourselves $1 million. We're a $1 million company. We're just moving $1 million.
You just move it around.
Yeah, you move it around until you lose some of it.
Round and round.
Tommy Dan's in the business of keeping others in business. It's like we make money to disperse it out to all our suppliers, partners.
I like the imagery of Tom and I's business is a toilet with money swirling around. We're like, look at it go.
What'd you do with that money we gave you? We gave it to other investors. We promised dividends.
We worked really hard to keep the lights on here so they could win. But meanwhile, if you go into like a service industry, right? Let's take that for example. Let's say landscaping, for instance, or even washing cars. You do $1 million washing cars or $1 million doing landscapes is relatively low overhead. To start. You can make a nice living, and those are more of that lifestyle, kind of businesses where $1 million in that could actually make you a pretty decent profit, right? Even going back to marketplace, flipping cars or flipping whatever you're into, you can make maybe 100, 150, 200 grand take home on something like that, depending on what you take.
You hit the nail on the head with the $1 million landscaper business. That's all the VIP tickets at Morgan Wallen are $1 million landscapers, right? Like it's like high dollar.
Even
construction companies that do pretty
tree trimmers, stuff like that, like. And even like guys that do like bobcat work and, they do the leveling and the grading and stuff like that. $1 million, $2 million business there, you're sitting pretty good,
To make $1 million in landscaping, you got to be a D-head and you got to know Spanish.
It helps,
and if you're not that, then good luck. Because really, when you get that level, you need to have a bunch of crews. And then you also need some commercial accounts and stuff. All the like the super rich landscapers, and then anybody in like let's talk about scaling. And this is like a general business conversation where
that's not what happens to your coffee pot, which is also scaling, I believe.
Which is also $1 million idea inbound.
There you go.
Scaling coffee
pots. Throughout my life, I've seen like Steve from Porky's Barbecue. I remember when he was like the next logical jump for me. My business here in Apopka Babka is doing well. I want to start other Porkies, right? And then as soon as he started doing that, he told me, he was like, this is the worst decision I've ever made because it doubled my stress. And then as soon as I left one store to go to the other, then the other store started to see a decline. And then I'm jumping back and forth.
And you're just chasing back and forth.
And you're just chasing because you're not scaling properly. Because you're like, I don't know what that, how do you scale this? And then it turns out like you need to bring in good employees, and that's a whole different skill set.
Yeah.
To be a good
wasn't it
manager,
management finding a manager that having somebody on like boots on the ground that could operate as him, sort of?
Well, in that scenario, SOPs, right? So standard operating procedures, you can't leave restaurant one until you basically have a entire SOP book of how to operate it and rules and
step by step.
It's got to be basically copy paste. If you can't leave restaurant one until that's dialed, and you got to have a team. And I think the litmus test before you jump from restaurant one to restaurant two is, can I take a month off and not be here? And what's that look like? Because if I can leave for a month and it runs efficiently and it doesn't dive, then I can go start a second restaurant or a third one, right? And I think that would be the ultimate litmus test for any type of growth like that. Can I step away and this thing continues trucking and growing?
Yeah.
If I can't, I need to fix it until I can, right?
Yeah.
Because then you can't give your attention anywhere else, So
speaking of like food packaging and like, 'cause that's a business that you obviously started and that it got you into business. How has like internet and like ordering stuff online changed that business? Because it used to be a lot more of like where you are on the shelf made a big difference. And now it's like where people are searching something on Walmart's site or like Publix's site or whatever. And it's like the area on the shelf doesn't matter anymore.
Well, is it digital shelving? I've always wondered that. Like, so for instance, on what's the one Publix uses?
Shipped.
Shipped?
Yeah, Shipped. Yeah.
Okay, like so on Shipped.
If you search rice, which one comes up first?
Thank you. Is it Mahatma or is it old Uncle Ben?
Yeah, not Uncle Ben, the OG.
Yeah.
Guy. So today is the best time in history, in my opinion, to ever try and start a business. You could do it relatively low cost. You could do it relatively low risk. And in fact, the last couple startups that I've been part of and grown, we never really spent more than a couple $1,000s on the first concept to get it into like its sales mode, right? Where a decade ago, we'd have to go make a product, find a co-packer or make it ourselves, package it, brand it, blah, blah, and you had to go buy all the packaging and buy all the glass, whatever you're making.
Sure.
Package it in the cases and get it ready to ship, take it to a store, beg a store to sell it, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So you're easily, $10, $20, $30,000 into an investment like that. Today, I can come up, and this is like food, clothing, whatever, especially now with like ChatGPT and the ability to make mock-ups really quick and things like that. You could literally go to ChatGPT and go like, hey, I have an idea for, this food product or whatever I want to make. Can you make packaging that looks like, I don't know, Oreos but red and, et cetera, et cetera. It'll do a mock-up. You get on Fiverr, you go to a graphic designer there for $20. You've already thought out most of it. And you're like, hey, I need to make this a polished, realistic-looking version. Can you change A, B, and C about it, right? Put my name a little better, because chat's not perfect, right?
Tighten it up for me.
Yeah, make it look realistic. Then go, hey, do 3 flavors, right? You can do that for $50 on Fiverr. Then you go on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and you go, hey, I'm dropping this new cookie line. A, B, and C are the flavors, right? Pre-sale, order today. Pre-sale goes live today. We close it out, I don't know, in a month from now. And then next thing you know, you've got sales rolling in essence. It pays for that first run. You don't have really any money out of pocket besides that initial little bump to get it going. And then you wash and repeat. And pre-sale is awesome in that sense because you get paid today to go make the product and then sell the product. And you're only making what you need to sell it, right? And then if you're, depending on your margins and the product you're making, if you have enough profit in it, you can make enough then to continue growing the business off that, right? So I paid for the initial inventory plus now the second half of that inventory that I could just continue selling here on forward.
You're in that space. Do you feel like people are let me see how to phrase this, is pre-sale used to be sort of looked at least for me, as like being a little cheesy, being a little like, well, these people don't have their S together.
Yeah.
Pre-sale, what are you talking about? I want you to have everything done, and then I just buy the polished product. Are consumers more forgiving these days, or more they want to invest? Like, I want to be a part of it. Yeah. What would you say to that?
Kickstarter, GoFundMe, things like that, it's all about the story. Right. So I think today vulnerability and just being exceptionally you and authentic is everything. So if you get on and you're like, hey, look, my dream is to make a cookie company and I want to do this. I'm going to launch it this way, like rally behind me. People will rally. Like you will find a tribe that's like, hell yeah, dude, chase that dream. I'll buy the cookies. I don't care. I'll put $30 out for a month. It doesn't bother me. Right.
Yeah.
And you got to find that tribe, and not everyone's going to be your customer. But yeah, today more than ever, I mean, COVID honestly changed for food and consumables, especially. COVID changed everything, because we were kind of selling food online before. You had your Amazons and things like that, but everyone's stuck at home during COVID. It wasn't easy to get everything you liked. So a lot of people started ordering online, and now food sells huge online. So it's cool, because going back to your question around, you're taking the power out of the retailer. The retailer at one point had all the control. And again, I don't care what product you're selling, whether it's to Home Depot and it's tools or whatever. You had to go knock on their door, beg them to take it. It was the only way you could really sell your product, right?
It was like radio and or TV and stuff like, and like they were the gatekeepers.
Yeah,
and you couldn't get any
you
attention.
You weren't real
until they let you in. Like, come on in.
Yeah,
and that's sort of what I mean. It's like it didn't feel real. Now it is like I bought a bunch of like, I'll use the term experimental products, where it's like, well, that's not fully vetted by a company or a corporation or anybody big, but it was great, or maybe better than even, maybe it was very small.
Well, the same
batch.
factory in China is making yours and theirs at the same time. Because it's all the same, and you're like, oh, all the quality's the same because it's all made in the same place.
Yeah, and it's crazy because even let's take, like you said, radio, right? 20 years ago, to get a hour-long show on radio was like impossible if you were nobody.
Yeah.
Then here comes podcast, right? And then podcast was this thing 5-10 years ago, right? And now we've got even like, podcast blurbs, which is like TikTok. You don't have to necessarily make a real podcast. You can make a TikTok account that simulates a podcast, right? Or a show, and you're off to the races. And now you got people writing movies and stuff with like AI, and like, it's crazy because, again, look at the movie industry. 20 years ago, you had to write a script, beg someone to pick it up, and then look at how much like Netflix and streaming and all that has changed it. I think the future of even like the movie theaters in jeopardy to some degree in Hollywood, because the power's in us now. We don't need big production, if you will. To some
even
degree.
Writing a script, you would have to get a book about how to write a script, and like writing it was a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
Like, and then
how
now
do you figure out the best practices?
Now you could essentially,
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
you could write. An essay about a movie that you want, and tell ChatGPT, write this, make this a script, and then just fine tune that script that it made you. But at least there's a base, and like all that work would have taken 6 months, and now you're done in a week.
Yeah,
and it's that is the crazy part. I mean, so much. My kids' homework, I was telling you guys, like you could take a picture of your kids' homework. ChatGPT will explain everything, how to do it, like step by step, and you can tell it like, hey, explain this to me like I'm a third grader, and then it explains it easier.
Now explain it like a second grader. Now first grader. Take the clothes off this. Take the clothes off this teacher.
Explain it to me like I'm an embryo. It's like, oh, it gets more complicated.
Yeah.
But make my wife a hermaphrodite. Put Mickey Mouse ears on her. All right. Yeah, I like that. Make me an anime character. Make me a ninja. I want to be a ninja.
It just stops and goes, I think we have an ADHD problem. You know what I mean? Back to the original math problem.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the chat room are saying that, this is sort of what Jeff from Jeff's Bagel Run did during COVID.
Yeah.
He had an idea. He used that time to scale it and do better with it and put it out there. And by the time he got out of it, he's good.
But he wrote specific details on how to franchise it, and every franchise follows the rule book and has exactly the same thing. And like that's a different.
But what's fascinating, Jeff's Bagel Run is a cool story because you're right. Jeff gets laid off COVID. Jeff has no idea how to make bagels, right?
Yeah.
He literally just starts trying to learn in his kitchen. They suck. I mean, if you talk to him, his story is really cool about that. He makes awful bagels. Then he finally started, and again, remember COVID was a really cool time where people rallied against, kind of what was happening. They wanted fun stuff. So they started having like drug meetups at his house almost to pick up bagels, right?
Yeah.
And then
Friends and family were getting them,
And then that started catching on. Then he opened his first shop. And then another great guy had a bagel shop at the same time, and he had some health issues and it was going to sell it. Jeff absorbed that. So that was like shop number 2 by de facto, basically. And then long story short, Justin Wetherall, who created You Break I Fix here in town. Yeah, he built that company with his brother and sold it. Justin loved Jeff's. Justin actually backed it. And then Justin's helping Jeff scale that thing. So Justin knows how to franchise, right?
Yeah.
So
finding the right partners and right time, right place.
But let's talk about getting to that $1 million, because I'm sure Jeff was knocking on that door with 1 to 2 bagel shops, right? So, he was probably doing pretty good. He was probably making a decent little living. And then here comes the opportunity knocking. And that's where, Jeff didn't wake up one day to Justin at his door going, dude, let's build bagels, right? In essence, he put himself in the way of that opportunity, which is why that $1 million idea, is so critical. And that's where I always talk about that. That $1 million could be a great lifestyle business, or it's a great opportunity to put yourself into the pathway of bigger opportunities.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that $1 million section is the hardest part. It's just freaking go, man. Just start. Try something. It doesn't have, stop looking to make that $1 billion. Just press go and try something. And then it will flush itself out and it will guide you along the way, of where you need to go.
There you go.
Jesse, I have a theory I want you to listen to and tell me if you think it's valid at all, because some people think I'm crazy.
Okay.
Right? So
No, you're leading the witness a little bit.
Yeah.
What if he says, what if he's like, this is the poo-poo stinko? Are you going to be okay with that? Or are you going to be like, I don't know I don't think you know nothing.
He just comes over and plugs
that's
the
what I'm
mic.
thinking in my head.
Okay, all right, that's fair. That's fair. All right, hear him out.
So the Cracker Barrel brand change, right?
Yeah.
So
Riveting.
I watched this happen. People are exploding on the end. I'm like, what is this? People are really mad. And then all of a sudden, and then
the idea of you confused, you're like, what is that?
Yeah. And I'm like, what's the issue? And then everybody's arguing. The Cracker Barrel logo is everywhere, and then it's all over my Facebook and social media. And then I'm like, man, there's a lot of publicity. And that's when the light bulb went off. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I thought that, then I saw an announcement like, oh, we're not changing anything. We're leaving it as it is. So everybody, we heard the people, and now we're leaving it. And then I'm like, man. I could imagine a scenario, and people thought this is a big conspiracy theory or whatever. I can imagine a scenario where the board of people sat down with their marketing company they work with, and they're like,
Uncle Herschel and the board of directors.
He's at the front of the table.
Yeah, I like to envision that.
That's good.
I'm a visual artist.
And then they're all like, hey, because a lot of companies have a problem where they have this heritage brand where it starts getting stale, and they're like, man, we should change this brand because it's dated. And people see it, and we've done product testing or like testing with the audience, and then like when they see it, it looks dated. Like it looks like it's the 90s, because everybody remembers the going to Cracker Barrel when they're with their family on vacation
after church with their grandparents,
and nothing,
or on a road trip with grandpa,
And a lot of companies face this where old brands look old, and that's why they constantly brand refresh. We know this from Danger Brain. It's like
we've done it with our own brand.
Yeah, so to make it look new, old brands look old, and that the people look down on that. So then I'm sure they have that meeting, and then but they're like, man, some people they like the old the nostalgia of it, and then like we'll probably get a lot of blowback. And then when someone I bet stood up, a young Tom Van stood up and was like, what if
when they put you in there, you're like, hold on a second, excuse me. And they're like, who are you, intern?
I was just scrolling TikTok in the meeting trying to because I don't have like
hold on, let the dish boy from Cracker Barrel down the street speak. Yes, dish boy.
And so I propose to everybody, all right,
my idea,
because look at the changing the brand in all the stores is going to be a tremendous amount of money and expense, and we're going to have to borrow money or we're going to leverage
but
things.
they're going to do a couple of them just to throw them off the scent.
Yeah.
They did
that's small.
To show we're serious.
Yeah, they did do some. Even the one by the airport's new.
But it's going to cost us X amount of hundreds of millions to do every store. But what if we put out leak the brand change, right? And then hire company, because marketing companies can do this, to just pepper the internet with fake outrage, bot outrage, and stuff like that. This for sure happens with corporations,
including a lot of my conservative friends are conservative bots.
They change the narrative or make up a narrative for themselves.
Okay.
Because it's so easy to manipulate the social media, because it's like, hey, and then you're like, let's put out there that like, oh, they're taking away the white guy from the logo, and that's why everybody's like, look, they went woke, and let's get
go woke, go broke. Perception is reality.
And,
yeah, exactly.
And then if this thing hits and becomes a thing, that Cracker Barrel logo will have 500 million impressions worldwide.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, how much
more than that?
How much would you pay for 500 million impressions? Well, we know. Here's what you'd pay, and you'd pay $180 million in advertising or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
$250 million. And it's like, this is a way, and we could only spend 10 million to get $250 million in advertising. Let's do this. And then you do it, and then now it's all like, oh, we're keeping the brand, and then nothing's changed, nothing's happened. We spent we did a couple things with the store or whatever, and we got $250 million worth of Cracker Barrel marketing, and subconsciously people see that and they're like, oh, I'll go with Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they pay it. So what do you think?
So it's funny because I'm a diehard Cracker fan myself, right?
Okay. All right.
So when I saw the change happen, first I saw this a little while ago. I was like, this is not going to go well, because about a year ago they started adding alcohol to the menu. And I'm like, well, that's not Cracker Barrel to serve mimosas and beer. I'm like, what the heck, dude? It's grandma's.
That's my Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, it's grandma's pancakes. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's strange. Then they started adding like appetizers to the breakfast menu, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, they're really trying to like figure out how to make more revenue coming in the building, whatever. Then when I saw the restaurant rebrand, I'm like, oh no. I'm like, let's see what's gonna happen. The restaurant rebrand came through. I'm like, cool. It looks like Kiki's. Not a good look for them, right?
Yeah.
Then the rebrand, I think really just set people over the edge. So I think I would totally back because you're right. I think you're right. A brilliant CEO would have done that on purpose.
You think they just negotiated the accident and then?
I think they
they had a scapegoat. I mean, they did have that lady. I forget.
Yeah,
her name.
She's the CEO, right?
Yeah, with the big glasses, and she was a part of another company too, and they were using that against her as well.
Well,
I don't have all my ducks in a row
So
here.
she was CEO of Taco Bell.
That's what it was.
Yeah, and everyone was pissed because Taco Bell, when she was CEO, she killed a lot of the favorite items, and people were like, "This lady's like, the black, veil of death for the things we love."
She took the gordita.
Yeah, literally.
I think it was the double decker taco. No BS.
No joke. I think it
was the double decker, and I am a double decker man.
I am too, brother.
With the beans, I gotta have the beans.
And there was a couple other things that she was like over while they killed it. So again, her track record, veil of death. Now, Tom, to your point though, a genius marketing move, like, hey, we need to revitalize Cracker Barrel for like the generation that forgot about us. What happens when you lose something that you didn't realize you had, right? You miss it. So when you start, and they did a almost textbook job of changing it so hard that it's like it reinvigorate. I bet you their sales are through the roof. If they announce officially they're going to keep it the way it was.
At least I saw that on the internet. They did announce it, but I don't know because who knows what the truth is.
I know. And if I was the CEO, whether it was done on purpose or accident, right now would be a golden time to kind of come out and be like, hey, in your face, in person, hitting up every store, converting every store we just paid money to convert back to the old way. We heard you, we listened. Cracker Barrel's back, and then try to, that should reinvigorate the brand.
I think they did that, and you could check GPT, but
nice.
think they announced like we're going back to. And when they did that, then I was like, oh, for sure, there's a. Okay. Or they
It was last week, and I think it was like I want to say like Wednesday or Thursday. They kind of came back, and then their statement was one of these where they're like, you spoke and we listened. It was one of those.
Yeah.
Which still didn't lead me to, but like I'm more of and I think we disagree on this. I'm more of they navigated an accident.
Yeah.
I think you're more of, and the reason I don't believe yours is that it means that there's got to be brilliant humans, and I don't see a lot of brilliant humans, and most things I see are accidents. I don't see a lot of
young Tom Van knew. He was washing dishes.
The only way I would go to Tom's side is if she came out
from the ranks
as the public, as the face, right? Like instead of just the article dropped on Instagram, she came out and they did a campaign around her. You know, she's kind of hiding right now. That kind of tells me they navigated an accident.
She's got those big Jiminy Glick glasses.
Yeah.
You know, and people love that.
And
they
you know
love to
who's a
villainize
damn
that.
good example of this is Marcus Lemonis. He had a show on like CNBC called The Prophet. It was really cool. I don't know if you ever watched it. It's a great show. He actually, ironically, we're talking about campers. He is CEO of Camping World.
Oh, yeah.
So in either North Carolina or South Carolina, they were trying to find him because he had way too large of an American flag on the highway. And he said, I'll close this damn dealership and move it the next state over before I take that flag down. And he just kept paying the fines. And he didn't write an article. I mean, he was in their face about it. Now, that's how you handle a situation like that. You know, and that's where, you know, again, that could have been a PR stunt all day long. It's genius, right?
Yeah,
Because now you're like camper, Americana, patriotism. The three that go together.
Yeah,
and now you're like, well, I only shop at Camping World because this guy's going to shut down an entire dealership.
Yeah. And then they're mad at the government. You're trying to make them take down the
Yeah,
American
you-
flag.
Are you freaking crazy?
I'm
the
driving a state over.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you would.
It's 30 by 50 feet. And the local government's like, it's in the rules. I mean, what do you want to, it doesn't matter
The
what
wind
flag it
shifts
is.
direction when the highway shuts down, man.
Yeah,
What do you want from us?
yeah.
You know, but that's a great topic because I mean, man, they are navigating a situation or you know they did a terrible
Manipulating
job
the
at delivering.
Yeah, and so and that I love those kind of things because I like the marketing of things.
Yeah.
like that's
Same.
where I'm focused and like really I can only care about is like why did they do this?
Yeah.
and it drives my wife crazy because she's like, why do you care why? I'm like, that's the only important thing to me.
Yeah.
It's like, did they do this on purpose or was this an accident and they get out of it? Because that's what I can learn.
That
from.
What do you like
Consumer
more, though?
psychology.
Do you like
Oh,
it?
I like it on purpose.
Because I don't think there's a lot of them. As I live, as I get older, I have a tendency to believe more in the randomness of things happening than purpose.
But it's when now looking back at it though, it looks so easy to do.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of moving pieces, right? You need
Yeah.
the scapegoat, you need the new logo, you need the old logo, you need to guarantee that the old logo is going to have as much, politicized outrage.
Yeah,
What if
yeah.
it doesn't?
Yeah.
You know, that's a gamble. The whole thing was that's why I don't believe in it, that it was calculated because it was so perfect.
But
Yeah.
even with the scapegoat, it's like, what does the CEO care if a lot of people dislike her? Because after all this blows over, no one cares who the CEO of any of these restaurants are.
She's
And,
still a human, though. You always dismiss the human factor of you do it with sports stars, too, where you're like, what does he care about winning the championship? He only cares about money. It's like, they're still at their core. They're still people.
No, have you ever
And-
seen Fun with Dick and Jane with
Yes.
So he's the fall guy, right? You know, in the whole situation. Or the one with Will Ferrell where he goes to jail with Kevin Hart. I've heard the name of that movie.
Oh yeah, where Kevin Hart teaches
Yeah.
Will Ferrell how to like be and
Be in prison.
Like, it's like hot.
It-
Yeah, I remember.
yeah, he's the fall guy, right? So it's almost like the fall guy's not a crazy thing. Like they could have brought this lady on, to your point, Tom, and been like,
Like
yo,
an actor, you mean?
well, no, she's a true CEO,
just
but
tell her like, hey, this is our plan.
yeah, you're gonna take the bullets here. You know what I mean?
Because
Like,
after a while, I don't think anybody cares. I don't think anybody cared to begin with. I don't think there was actual outrage, and that's where the base of it. Because everybody's like, "Oh, like, was anybody outraged that they were branding and taking the old white guy who was actually yellow off of
Just an old man.
like that's where the base of it. I was
Yeah,
like,
what'd that guy do?
No one even really cares.
Yeah.
and and so of course, like if I was a CEO, it's like no one really even like I'm the scapegoat of a controversy that no one even cares about.
Yeah.
like oh, this lady wanted to rebrand and take this old white guy. Like who in real life have you ever met that actually cared about that?
Yeah.
Or did you only see it on the internet?
Well,
Because I only saw it on the internet. No one cared.
I mean, as we compete against big brands, legacy brands all day, every day. And sometimes you watch these big companies, you know, spend a ton of money to bring out new product. And you're like, holy helmet, dude, how did this get to market? You know, this had to go through floors of approval, you know, and I mean, it's bad, you know, and it's not even like good PR bad, you know, if you will, because, you know, the old saying is, you know, all PR is good PR, whether it's good or bad. Cracker Barrel's a great example,
Yeah,
right? But like what's funny about this one is it's Cracker Barrel, old time country store, and you took all the old out of it, you know, so that's Cracker Barrel, country store, I guess, you know, like, I mean, you took the country out of it too. So, Yeah, I see it all the time in the big legacy brands, and we laugh because I'm like, man, there was $100 million lesson on what not to do. Thanks for that. We'll write it down and avoid that, right? So,
How many of the people were expecting it though? Like that's maybe why I don't fit in this argument at all. Is because like when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, they need to.
Yeah,
my initial 100% reaction was
that's
like,
the real.
oh, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
The controversy was fake.
No, I agree with you on that. And it was amplified. I don't like saying fake, but it definitely amplified. Because I know there were at least a couple people that I know of that were like in my family that were. They may not. I can't get in their brain to.
They were mad that they changed the brand, but not that they took the white guy. That part of it was fake. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Everybody doesn't like a brand change because they feel comfortable with the old brand, even though they haven't been there in years. Right. And then they were like, "Well, then show up. We're doing this because our sales are down." And you're like, "I
trying
don't
to
like
make it nicer for
Well,
you."
then come to eat at our place, and that's essentially what they did. It was like remind people like come support Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
And then all through a giant fake media BS, which but you're right. That's giving a lot of people credit to have a brilliant idea.
Either way, though, it's a textbook on how to do it if you were going to try and plan something like that, right? So,
well, it's like astronomer. There were people that were saying, hey, he definitely went to that concert with his new love interest on purpose. Look at the ads they're getting. You see what I'm saying? Like, everything. Because it can be. Like, we do live in a time.
You can really spin it like
that.
Well,
here's one. Yeah. This is a perfect time, and I wanted to ask you this. So, did you see the story about Shine Clothing?
No.
Okay, well, I guess it was like last Friday, they put up like their new line of clothing for like this is the new fall line of Shine Clothing. And one of the models just happens to be the insurance murderer, Luigi Mangione. And like one of the models.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, oh my, they yank it down. It made the news. You can go Google the article. If you want to read about it, multiple articles everywhere. Just shorted along with me and Tom, I was like, they do that on purpose?
Yeah.
Is that AI on purpose? Just because are we at a time now where, to go back to Tom's point about the CEO being the scapegoat and it was all engineered, are we at a time where this is like sort of standard operating procedure for new business?
Yeah.
Is this a new way of doing media? Is this
Attention,
a new?
Yeah.
And it's a Kardashian playbook all day long. That's all they did. That's the entire show. It's car accident after car accident after car accident of entertainment that kept them relevant until they all became billionaires. And to some degree, Dan, maybe that is the move right now. And again,
see, I don't like it though, and I know that's dumb old man to say.
I know.
To me, in my opinion, like when I read the article, I was like, if they did that on purpose, to me, I wouldn't do that. Ethically, that's not the type of business I would want to do. That's kind of gross. Yeah. But if they want to do that, I guess there's no law against it. I mean,
well, even still, though, it's kind of funny because going back to like starting a business, taking a risk. You used to have to kind of tread lightly, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be careful about your perception of the Do you have to, or do you kind of
think you do.
Do you just go bull in a china shop and then ride the media wave, where it's like, should I put that on a t-shirt?
Well, you're seeing it on all aspects. I mean, you're seeing it with like right now in country music, you're seeing like a lot of infighting because they know they can get publicity. You see it everywhere. But my point is, I don't necessarily like it. It also breeds to a point where people are like, wow, there sure is a lot of natural negativity in the world. And I'm like, I kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
Because I do think the guardrails are off because it's like, just do whatever you want. Yeah. Get the eyes, and then you could flush it all out later. And that's okay, but
it's very WWE. I mean, if you think about it.
It's jarring for me.
Yeah. Well, and you're right. It facilitates more of that. Just chaos, everyday chaos, right?
Yeah, and and there's something to be said about like sometimes you jump to it's all conspiracy when it's not. I mean, we did it with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Where it's a marketing thing with the NFL and stuff, and then it's like, it turns out they actually were dating and are getting married. And then,
but that was only after the business deal went through.
But it seemed like such a perfect marketing problem.
Hey, listen, I
got married for money. You think they're too big for that? Yeah. They don't care. It's just
you cannot tell
you get them.
I'm selling it. It's a scam.
That's proof. You
Cracker Barrel, Taylor Swift.
That one I'll give him because he 100% got married for money.
1,000%.
Yeah.
It was so easy.
It was $50,000.
He wanted to retire 2 seasons ago.
I'll get divorced for any money. Offer me.
Pulls
I'll give you money.
Who cares? I'm just going and signing a paper. I don't care when I lie to the government. I lie to the government every day. Anyway.
Thanks for coming here, buddy.
So we haven't come up with $1 million idea. But
no, I think you're getting paid for getting divorced is $1 million.
Hold on. Okay, here's the $1 million idea takeaway. A car crash, if you will, PR agency. You know what I mean? So
wait a minute. This is that Tim Robinson show.
Yeah, I love that show.
On Netflix. Yeah. This is Detroiters.
What every idea's been thought of.
Damn it.
He just does really bad ideas that for some reason happen to work for his
You're
client.
right. That is exactly that show. Okay. But you can absolutely take this idea and run with it and even hit a niche. Go landscapers. You're a PR agency that causes crazy chaos for landscape companies to get more sales. You're welcome.
Wow.
Well, speaking of landscape, that was my one idea that I had is that I was like, there is like a peer-to-peer for everything, and there hasn't been one for landscaping.
Oh,
And
okay.
I don't mean to take a lot of our listeners are landscapers, so I apologize. But I'm like, imagine a peer-to-peer where you get on, and then like you always have a neighbor, like an old man neighbor that loves mowing his lawn, that's got a riding lawnmower, and then
Oh my God, it's like mow it forward.
Yeah.
That's what we call it.
Is that what it is?
We call it mow it forward.
Okay. You just get on the app, and then he gets on his app, and then he does it for half the cost of your landscaper, because he just drives across he's mowing his lawn, and then he just drives to yours, mows yours, and now he makes $50 a month, but you pay your landscaper $100.
Put this in your pool bear idea. It's a good idea. I like
That's
that.
actually rock solid.
I have another pool cleaning idea that it was going to be Pool Burr, the new iteration of Pool Burr.
Does that involve lingerie?
But it's the same thing.
I'll
like,
wear it fine.
There's always a dad in the neighborhood that knows how to do a pool chemicals, and like have him do yours too.
Yeah.
For half the cost of someone driving all the way across town.
And
to
he
do
can put his pool chemicals on his lawnmower when he drives over. He can save a little money there.
Anyway.
He's got the belt like Waterboy, you know?
Yeah, pool and lawn.
Yeah.
There's your $1 million idea. Now you need $100 million in advertising to get it off the
Or create controversy.
That's the thing with like Halsey and all these popular app ideas that are good ideas, but you need the marketing money to make it.
Hey, listen, you mow 1 yard with no pants on, you will for sure get some local media attention.
That's true.
Jesse, what
Thanks for being here,
are
bud.
your social media for everybody? Real Jesse Wolf?
At Real Jesse Wolf, RealJessewolfe.
Awesome.
Appreciate you, man.
Thanks
Hey,
for
does
having
your
me, guys.
mom have a bench on Park Avenue? Is that
No.
related to your family, or is that another wolf around
Is there a
town?
wolf bench on Park?
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that.
Yeah, my wife saw it. We cleaned it, and it had like we thought it was somebody in your family.
Yeah, I'll have to look
She
into
just
that.
mentioned in there. I wasn't gonna mention it because
Yeah.
it was like a memorial.
Yeah,
bench.
no, yeah.
But
no.
like she's like, that's got to be related to Jesse Wolf.
There's a lot of wolves out there, I'm learning these days.
Only one van.
Oh, I like that. That's good. Van tough.
Two ends, which is weird.
So we're going to go buy an Airstream? Or like, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
All right, good deal.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Love you, bye.
It is a corporate time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom. So a couple things are Bad at Business Beer Fest and Sofa and Suds are coming up November 22nd, 23rd. Free Beer Fest, street party. We got live music, Silver Linings Band. We got DJ out there. We've got a ton of different vendors that are coming out, our partners. I know, a bunch of our sponsors are showing up. All courtesy of, Just Call Mo, Mo DeWitt. And
we love us some Mo. And and you mentioned Silver Linings Band. I just want to, if we can rewind for just a touch, those guys are so good. It's like they're the band that you go and you see and you're like, well, who the hell is this? They can play every song made. They know they'll take requests. They'll do a Tom and Dan song if we ask them to. Like, they're so good. So we're really trying to keep the entertainment and the family vibes and the pet-friendly vibes and the fun Sanford vibes, keep it real high. Really awesome.
We're running a promotion with the Pinball Dudes that if you purchase a pinball machine from the Pinball Dudes, first free delivery and free setup anywhere in Florida. You can go on their website, see all the pinball machines they have to offer. There's some cool ones. There are different band theme ones. There's Marvel. There's Jaws. Like movies. Like
well, if they make it though, the pinball dudes, they'll try and find it for you. I mean, that's what they specialize in, is finding that stuff.
So if you want to get a pinball machine for a loved one for the holidays or anywhere coming up soon,
great gift.
We will also, that person, if they're a fan of the show, they can come into the studio. Private meet and greet with Tom and Dan, and you could play some pinball with us. We'll have some drinks.
I like that.
And you could watch a show. And so that is part of.
Somebody in the chat room said, if we buy a pinball machine, can Dan come over and play it? Yeah,
yes.
I'll throw that in. Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't I?
If you live in Central Florida, 100%, we will come to your house and play with you.
I'll take it further.
Yeah.
I want to make this. I want to put some skin in the game.
Yeah.
100 miles because I could get there.
100 miles.
Yeah, I could get there and back on one charge.
Round trip though. I mean, we'll do 50.
No,
50.
I'll do 100 and I'll do 100.
200 miles.
Yeah, I don't even have to drive. I'll just let the car do it. It's so easy.
Yeah,
I'll just answer emails. It's going down the road.
It is
very reckless.
Yeah.
Very reckless. But I'll just let it. I'm just saying for me. I don't want to say for you. You could be 50 miles. I'm 100 miles.
No, we're going together.
They call me 100-mile Dan.
I guess, having the ability for Daniel's car just to drive.
It changes it.
It does change
I
it.
ask you all the time. Now you've found out my my little secret. I ask you all the time. It doesn't matter what the stupid thing is. I'm like, I'll drive that to Sanford. Oh, we got new pins for Hollerbox. I'll drive them to Sanford. Oh, you want me to pick up the Shark Week trophy? I'll drive to Sanford. I don't care because I'm not driving. I'm not doing anything. I just sit in the car and it drives me there, and I just listen to music I like. It's a way different experience.
If I didn't have to tow my boat and trailers and RVs and all this stuff, I'd get a Tesla too.
I think you can still tow.
Not that big, not a boat.
It's got a pretty high towing capacity.
Yeah, no. It's I've looked into it, and it won't do like a boat.
It'll pull your boat.
I don't think it's recommended for that.
I don't know. Hold on. I want to be right on one of these because you're so certain on knowing everything, and I want to be right on one of these.
I'll bet $100 right now.
$100. Okay.
You want to bet?
Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah, it's $100.
Yeah. I don't. Because I got a.
How much is your boat?
I don't know how much it weighs. A 22-foot Hurricane sun deck.
Deck boat, right?
Yeah, sun deck. But don't look up the dry weight. You got to look at the wet weight. Full of gas. Holds 42 gallons, non-ethanol. That's how you keep it running.
Okay, let's see. Because I always thought that it had a pretty high towing capacity.
Yeah, I mean, I got a
with 20-inch wheels, it has a 5,000-pound towing capacity.
It's got to be more than that. I mean, because I
guess
Chevy,
it probably won't do it.
$100.
Right, you can take it right out of the business account. It's totally fine with me.
So
if this is what it's like to live afternoons in the Van household, this is like nightmares.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That my personality that I was born with is not good.
Yeah, I'm with Crystal now. You have to change it. You absolutely have to change it.
No, you can't change it. So you are who you are. You just got to admit that you're not a likable person to be around for the most part.
Let's do some voicemails.
Which is weird because we got thousands of listeners and they must like it a little bit. Or they like to make fun of me.
No,
who cares?
I think they like it. It doesn't matter.
Business is business. Let's talk about Howard Stern retiring.
Oh, yeah. Because he was supposed to announce on September 2nd, which was, 2 days ago, coming back from vacation. He was supposed to announce his big new contract with SiriusXM. And, the future of the show, staffers were rumored to have been, looking for new jobs. It was a mess.
Yeah, well, I thought that he was going to announce, or Sirius was dropping him. That was already the news, right? Like, they're not re-upping him?
I don't think that's news. I think that's what everybody's assuming. There's been no, I think, substantial, I don't think Sirius or Stern have said on the record.
This is 100% happening.
He's done. I think his contract is up. We know he's making an announcement. We know that other podcasts and shows like Who's Your Daddy and the ones that are more popular now, they did get big contracts. So all arrows are pointing at something happening.
So when I see this, it to me, it doesn't matter, especially when you're that big and you have the money to just, I mean, he's already has his own studio. He already owns it. He pays all his employees. Like, part of that contract was, here's $500 million, but you are in charge of producing the content. We just get it from you, right? And so it's like all your employees, everybody who's in charge of doing your show and making the finished product, that's on you. So essentially, he already has the capability to do all that, right? Of course, he's a multi-millionaire, $100 million house, or property or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So it's meaningless to me who is distributing your content at this point in time in 2025, because he could just distribute it on his own app or the internet or YouTube or whatever, and anybody can consume it.
Yes.
So whoever,
but will they? That's the question.
Yeah, but
I don't think, like, losing the switch. And what I mean by the switch is Sirius is the switch, right? Like, he's already on there. I think when you lose the switch, like when you take away something that's super easy for people, and then they have to go and now put more effort into a new thing. Yeah. I think right off the jump, no matter what you say, you lose a certain level of people that are not going to come back just because decision fatigue, whatever you want to call it, they're just not coming back. Now, would it be easier for him to stay and keep his audience? Yes, because I don't think in my mind, there's no play of him leaving, getting an app, asking his audience that's already there to come to this new app, and he gets more. That'll never happen.
Yeah,
they won't get more.
But that tells me that the reality of your audience, I mean, because to me, if I'm looking at them, like, all right, you leave Sirius and you just start, distributing your show podcasts via the internet in one way or the other. Like, everybody's got a smartphone. If anybody wanted to listen, if you you listen to Howard Stern on Sirius every morning. If you are not a big enough fan to then be like, oh, he's off of Sirius, to go, like, if you have Sirius, you probably have a new, at least a car that's older than 2010 or something, that's like less than 15 years old or something, you know what I'm saying?
It's still an add-on now, even though it's on the, it's on the way back down, but people are still adding it on cars.
So you have some sort of Bluetooth ability, if your phone can stream to your radio or whatever. If you can't go download the free Howard Stern app, which is one click on your app store, or, you already have Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts or whatever, you can't just click one button, then how much did you like them? Then it's there's no barrier to entry.
It is. I am of the opinion right now that is where we are with a lot of things. Yeah. Like, I think,
who cares that they drop him on he could easily just do a show and immediately anybody who wanted to listen, one click.
No, but I'm telling you, I wouldn't do that. And I love Howard Stern. I love the nostalgia of it, and at one time he was my number one.
Okay.
But I'm not, there's too much out there. I'm not willing to, go and download one more thing and go through and put in my email address and subscribe to this. I'm just like, well, it's got to go. It's fine.
You don't have to email. You don't have to subscribe. You just one button.
But I'm not going to download a new thing. And I think there are a lot of people that wouldn't do that. But
you already have Apple Podcasts.
It's the same reverse as it's the same reverse as the Planet Fitness thing. It's exactly the same as that. It's like, I'm okay with just, he fell off Sirius. Well, there's other stuff on Sirius. I don't even go to his channels that much. I don't need to do it. I just wouldn't do it.
So you don't like them then?
No. I think a lot of people, there's so much content in the world. I think it happens to our show. Where people are just like, where they're like, oh, our app updates and you need to update the app. It's too much content out there. Something's got to fall.
Well,
I think
to me that then your audience then doesn't like you that much.
Well, I mean, there's different variations of your audience. Not everybody's a fanatic, right? Well, not every person is going to put in the same level of effort. That's impossible.
No, I know that, but
so you're going to have your P1s. You use that term all the time. So you're going to have your guys, your P1s. Sure, they're going to do anything for you. Put in your email address, sign up for your newsletter, download your app. They're going to do it all.
Yeah.
But as content, and there's so much out there, and you can't consume all of it. For me, I get fatigued, and there's certain things I go through waves of, even musical styles I'm into, and if it's too much, it's just too much. Or you switch and make it less easy for me to consume it.
Well,
I'm gone.
Yeah, well, that's bizarre to me because it's so. If you are a daily listener, right? He does a daily show. So, like, there's some podcasts I listen to.
I'm not a daily listener of Stern.
Okay, well then it's a flipping anyway. It's like, there's like
I'm a fan of Stern, and I go to his channels and I listen to it. But if it falls away, it falls away. I do that with most shows. I mean, like, if you make it.
But it's so easy to listen to him if you wanted to.
I do it with sports.
One click.
I want to watch. No, at Orlando, it's what I'm explaining is people already do, and it's not bizarre. It's like, oh, I want to watch that Orlando City Cup match. I love Orlando City. They're my team. I bleed purple. Work for the team. It's on ESPN Plus. I got to download that app. I got to subscribe to this. It's still free. I just got to log. I'm not doing that.
I'm
just not going to do that.
That's harder than just clicking on a podcast because I assume a lot of people.
Well, Stern's not going to ask for your email, make you download a brand new app. Of course he is. It's the same thing. You're not going to want to do it. Well, or some people aren't going to want to do it.
Yeah, no, I understand some, but it's like what I don't understand is if you listen to Howard Stern on Sirius and you listen to him every day, and then he's off Sirius and he's like, oh, where is he? He's on Apple Podcasts, and here's his podcast. Same day, I just click on it, one click, and then I'm broadcasting through my radio.
You mean like the source is exactly the same place?
Well, it's like such an easy way. It's not like I got to subscribe to some other new thing or whatever like that. I understand. Like maybe people are like, I'm not doing that.
Well, if he's off Sirius, he's off Sirius. How is he going to broadcast
on the internet?
But it's not the same. It's not having it come directly into your radio. You're simplifying it too easily just to like dismiss it. Even in my car, I have every single thing streaming in my car you could possibly have.
Yeah.
But it's so complicated. You have to QR code this to log in. You got to get this to log in. You got to put this email address to log in. It's not that easy. What I'm saying is when you take away that just turn it on and go, and that's what they're going to do. It's not going to be just walk over, click the button, and it turns on. It's not going to be that. It never is. They always make you sign up for stuff.
We're on a podcast. Put it on Apple Podcasts.
He's not going to do that. He's already had all of his stuff locked down. Why would he suddenly give all of his content for free on Apple Podcasts? He owns all of his stuff. He's the biggest paywall broadcaster I've ever seen. All of his stuff he owns it.
You'd advertise on it. They once you go through the paywall or stop doing the paywall, then you have to start doing advertising, which he's familiar with, regular broadcasting. You run commercials or whatever. Yeah. So it's weird anytime it's like, oh, this person's leaving or is going to be off this network or whatever. And then it's like, yeah, but they could just do a show and anybody can consume it.
I wish I thought it worked that easily, but I don't think it does. But I mean, maybe it will.
I mean, it was literally our business,
No, I know, but it was easier. It wasn't as easy for people to find me. They had to do a little bit of digging to find me. They did eventually find me, but there are still people that say, hey, man, I missed you on the Monsters. I still get people that say that.
Yeah. Well,
and that proves to me that it's not as easy as you're saying, or at least in my opinion.
Okay, yeah. I don't. It was bizarre that it was even a big deal that he was getting kicked off. They're like, oh, he's gone, and it's like you can't be gone nowadays.
It's not. But again, it's not. I also think that got politicized because remember, everybody started grabbing it and saying like, oh, look, the mighty has fallen because he went woke. You go woke, you go broke. They were kind of running there with that narrative, right? I don't think any of it's real. None of it ever has been. He probably will get a deal, and I think you even said this. He probably will get a deal from Sirius. It's not going to be huge, right? And he's just drawing it out because he can, and we'll see on the 8th what he says. But
just getting publicity out of it.
Yeah,
it seemed like a nothing.
And he probably will lock it down. I imagine if he were smart and wants to continue to do it, you will be right. He will own his own content and do it. I just think he's going to lose some listeners even more than he already has now because it's like I have no effort left.
Well, who knows how many people were even listening to begin with because they don't release those numbers, you know what I'm saying? Because it's underneath Sirius's, it's not public. So who the hell knows what his actual numbers, because I'm pretty sure they have the ability to see exactly
who They tried to say last week, didn't they say that it was at one time it was in the millions, and then as of now the active listeners is in the hundreds of thousands?
Yeah.
Which is still a lot.
Yeah. To me, though, it just we live in a society where there is no going away. You could always have a voice, or you could always put yourself out there as an entertainer, especially if you already are established, because then you already have the infrastructure to just put yourself out on the internet, YouTube, all these places that anybody can consume your content. And a lot of times, like with a podcast, it's a one-click play.
Well, see, it can be, but you got people that have these massive platforms that go on, like YouTubes or Twitches or Kick, right? And they're streamers, and they're streaming to millions of people, but they're breaking guidelines, and then they're getting those type of areas, or streaming companies taken away from them. So
if you can't stream, then you're really screwed.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, like, you can lose the ability, the freedom to do that sort of thing. And that's why you see a lot of streamers that are trying to be careful. Would you like to do a couple of voicemails before we close out this segment? This one I found really interesting because I don't believe we talked about it, but I know we had it on the list to talk about the DWAYNE Wade statue in Miami, and it was months ago.
Yeah. We talked about when it came out. It looked statues are hard.
Yeah. Well, here.
Hey guys, it is Bubble Bath Billy. I'm sure you guys talked about the terrible DWAYNE Wade statue, that was unveiled a while back, and the Ronaldo statue that looks nothing like him. And the question is always, how does that even happen? How do you put out a statue that looks so terrible, looks nothing like him? I'm sure you probably saw that Tom Brady had a new statue unveiled this week in New England outside the stadium. And it looks pretty good. It looks, like his face.
Did you see it?
I thought
it looked pretty cool.
I saw an interview with Robert Kraft when they were asking, like, "Are you going to put a Belichick statue?" And then he started like, "Oh, him in the hall." He was like, "Oh yeah, like they deny. I guess he wasn't prepared, but it looked like the answer was no.
They put him on the spot, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see what he says.
In terms of being made out of metal, and I saw this short 10-minute documentary on YouTube about the process of making that statue. And they go through so many iterations. They make like a computer model. They review hundreds of pictures. They make like a 6-inch or foot-tall version. Then they make a 3-foot-tall version. Then they make multiple castings to do the top. Anyway, long story short. And through the whole process, there's tons of meetings. You see them actually meeting, in Robert Kraft's office and meeting with the brand team at the Patriots. Everyone's reviewing it, signing off on it. So then it's like, the question is, what the hell happened to the other statues? Where did that process break down? Tom, how do you put out a statue that looks nothing like the person?
Well, they did it with the Martin Luther King statue in Winter Park, too. Remember where they gave him, like, mambo arms?
Yeah, but I'm starting to think the story of it is not... Okay, because the guy's right. This statue...
You're working it out. Tell me.
Well, this statue, there's been miniatures and all stuff. It's been approved throughout the process where everybody knew what it looked like. It's not like they lifted the sheet and they're like, whoa, what the hell is this? Like, everybody who approved it, who was in that approval process, already knew what it looked like for months or even years. Who the hell knows
years.
how? But it's like, so it's like...
I don't think it's not a quick process.
It's not a surprise either. So it's like... And then it only becomes a story when they unveil it, because the story gets clicks. So you have to make the story like, look at its arms, it's weird, or look how weird the statue looks, and then everybody's like, comments, it is weird, and then they're fighting like, oh no, and then
I love it.
And then
then they politicize it, then they yell at each other.
All doesn't
then there's
matter.
a murder. Then there's a murder that happens.
It all doesn't matter, and it's all fake.
Yeah.
Every like the Cracker Barrel thing, they never were going to change the logo. It's all fake. It's all for publicity.
I think I realized this.
You can manipulate the media, and social media can be manipulated so easy nowadays.
Was it James Corden that did that to Beckham as a prank, a fake prank?
Like a
okay. I think,
Bobo
and he's
statue?
not well liked, but the British talk show host and actor James Corden, on his talk show when he had it, I believe he did a prank on David Beckham because they're buddies.
Yeah,
and he made like a horrible David Beckham statue, like made it look insane. And of course, David Beckham, they revealed it, and then David Beckham, but he couldn't even hold back his, disdain for it. He was actively telling them, no, we're not. Like, he was saying, this is not happening.
They made it way bad. So
that
it
looked like real bad. Real bad. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, but then it's like it gets more attention. It's kind of like that. I forgot what sports star says it, but we talked about the other day, the retiring your jersey, right? Maybe it was
who was
Randy
that?
Moss. God, who I can't remember who said it, but they didn't want his jersey retired because he's like, you'll get more attention because if someone else is wearing your jersey number, because the broadcasters will mention it forever now. They'll be
Never
like,
thought of that. That's brilliant.
they were like, Randy Moss wouldn't have missed that catch, or like, or like, oh, he caught it like Randy Moss. So then, like, there's been other.
EJ saying was Michael Irvin.
Michael Irvin. Okay, well, Michael Irvin. Yeah.
Who was bananas on the sidelines.
So Michael Irvin didn't want his jersey retired because he's like, you'll get more attention if someone's wearing it.
Yeah.
And so another NFL player recently unretired his jersey so someone could wear it. And I think a lot of people are realizing, if it's up in the rafters and it's not on the field, it's like people look at it for 1 second and then that's it, and then no one will ever mention it again.
Interesting. Why would you want to be in the rafters? Be on the field.
Yeah. So,
George Mira Sr.
Yeah.
Is who EJ is saying that is. Thank you, EJ, for your help in the chat room.
And so, just like the statues, or like you want the. Maybe the statue you do want it to look a little bit controversial so that people, they talk about it in the media.
I thought the Brady one looked great. It kind of had your hair, and you got good hair, and he has like it looks good. And or does he have his helmet on? I can't remember.
I never saw it.
Here's the one thing I do know is that they made it huge. Like, I think it's like way bigger.
Yeah.
And I think they got it right on that. Like, if you're going to do a statue, I don't think it should be the size of the person. It should have some weight, like some heft to it.
Yeah. It needs to be 3 times scale.
It should be like large. Yeah, there should be like is there a best practice on that? I like that. 3 times, at least 3 times the size.
Yeah, and usually the statues are bigger than that.
Oh, we got a bad one here in Orlando, and I know everybody likes it, but we got a baby Statue of Liberty down in Ivanhoe. So we got a little Statue of Liberty. It's little bitty. I'm like,
Statues
don't do it for you.
Don't do anything for me.
You sound like our governor. He's like, paint over him.
Do you want to keep it? I don't know. I forgot what the statue.
Yeah.
But
just keep the ones that you know. The ones.
I never look at a statue with any sort of feeling at all. I'm just like, all right, it's a zero to me.
Like maybe this is just a weird thing to say. I like naked statues. I enjoy. I like a naked statue. I enjoy them.
I don't even I can't even comprehend how
hard
it is.
I like a faceless naked statue.
Like, I've seen the statue of David in wherever the hell,
Tiny Pecker,
Paris, France. And I looked at it, and it's so famous, and everybody and I'm like, man, so whenever this was like chiseled, was a long time ago. I guess that's pretty impressive. But I don't even understand how complicated it is to chisel a statue. I kind of get it, but I don't
think we could do that.
It doesn't. I
think you're sanding in there too. I don't think it's just chiseling.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah.
How precise can your chiseling be to get that precise? I mean, you are chisel crazy with that. Also, can I point out one thing I don't like about the statue of David? They made his pubes look like it's underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's flowing, like an anemone.
Yeah.
I don't like that. If you're gonna chisel each hair individually, I don't want it to look like
the breeze is blowing.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like a muff. I don't like that. I don't chisel that thing off. We can make some alterations, right? It's 2025. We gotta take a break.
All right, we'll be right back.